Ja, hallo Freunde, schön, dass ihr wieder da seid. Ja, wir werden heute weiter Genshin spielen. Ich habe ein bisschen weiter gelevelt, die Charaktere. Ich habe die Hauptstory natürlich nicht weitergespielt. Ich sehe gerade, da muss ich gleich noch kurz was machen. On the fly. Ich bin gleich wieder im Bild. Diese Minimaleinstellungen. So, jetzt passt's. Jetzt sieht man keine Ecke. Nur noch den Greenscreen. Aber da ist noch eine kleine Ecke, aber gut. Da wird vielleicht meine Hand immer davor sein. Ja, ich würde sagen, dann legen wir doch auch gleich los, oder? So, ins Spiel rein. Ja, ich werde vermutlich gleich... Moment. Wenn ich Glück habe, dann schaffen wir heute hier noch die letzten 40, also 36. Dann können wir uns das Gebiet tun. Mit etwas Glück ist dann auch der Charakter drin. Ja, mal schauen. Ich weiß, also er hat natürlich seine Vorteile, Ganyu. Eine Kyro-Bogenschütze. Ist auch sehr gut gewertet überall auf jeder Webseite. Also wäre jetzt nicht schlecht. Ja, so einen richtig guten Charakter haben wir ja nicht. Ich bin kurz vor der nächsten Weltstufe, also da habe ich auch schon fleißig Materialien gefarmt. Noch nicht alle für alle Charakter, sondern jetzt halt hauptsächlich nur für zwei. Also für Chongyun und für Benny. Ja, Xiangling und Zack Rose, die fehlen noch so ein bisschen hinten dran. Das können wir vielleicht heute noch im Nachhinein machen, nachdem wir mit der Hauptquest fertig sind. Also im schlimmsten Fall sind wir dann sogar auch schon 70 Weltstufe 5, also Rang 4. Werden wir gleich sehen. Ja, wie ihr seht, ich habe auch die Schatzquest fertig gemacht. Und ich habe mir den blauen Not geholt. Der rosa und der gelbe, die haben mir von den Farben überhaupt nicht zugesagt, deswegen den blauen. Ich höre halt nur ständig bei dem, was er sagt, Mami. Mami und Mama. Ja, irgendwie assoziiere ich momentan damit immer, dass der von seinen Eltern oder seiner Mutter weggenommen wird. Das mag jetzt halt einfach nur meine Interpretation sein. Aber irgendwie ist das bei mir so gerade drin. Aber ich muss hier noch eine Kleinigkeit machen. Ich bin gleich bei euch. Oder wieder im Game. So. Dann klettern wir mal weiter. Das war jetzt hoffentlich kein Fehler. Ach, ich sehe schon, ihr habt schon wieder kein Sound. So, jetzt müsste es auch da sein. Ja, jetzt sehe ich auch den Ausschlag.
Look up there. That's the Jade Chamber.
Question: How do we get up there? Ja, ich habe es auf Englisch umgestellt, weil mich die deutsche Übersetzung teilweise nervt. Ja, sobald das Gespräch vorbei ist, stelle ich es wieder zurück. Gute Frage.
This is bad.
Das
Paimon's
ist schlecht.
supposed to be your guide, but Paimon doesn't know where the way up to the Jade Chamber is.
Paimon sollte eigentlich dein Führer sein, aber Paimon hat keine Ahnung, wo der Weg ist. Du verstehst das jetzt erst, oder wir hätten Ganyu fragen sollen? Wir hätten Ganyu fragen sollen.
Well, since we want to go to the Jade Chamber, heading to its location on the map is the sensible thing to do.
Nun, nachdem wir zur Jadekammer wollten, ist der beste Weg, an die Stelle auf der Karte zu gehen.
Let's look around. There has
Schauen wir
to
uns
be a
dort
way
um.
up there nearby.
Da muss irgendwo ein Weg nach oben sein. Grüße Azarian, schön, dass du da bist. So, da was. Wieder in diese ein bisschen wirre deutsche Übersetzung rein. Ah, ich sehe schon. Diese Windräder kann man mit Windkraft aktivieren.
Since this is the right place, it must have something to do with the Jade Chamber.
Vielleicht ist es ja der Pfad zum Jade-Gemach.
Yes, this must be the way.
Oh, das ist eine Falle. Wir werden schließlich des Mordes an den Gott angeklagt. Ab in die Beschleunigungsstreifen.
It only takes us up to here. Aw, if that wind current was stronger, we'd be able to reach the top in one go.
Am besten gehen wir zurück und nach Liyue und fragen den Militien.
Huh? Why?
Der Weg nach oben sollte doch kein Geheimnis sein, es sei denn...
Oh, Paimon gets it. If it was a secret, Ganyu wouldn't have let us try to find it ourselves, right? Alright, let's follow your plan. Then we can... Oh, hang on a moment. Look down there. Looks like we've gotten close to the Guizhong Ballista. Paimon has a new idea.
Sie will sich mit der Balliste rausschießen.
To the Jade Chamber using the ballista.
Nein, danke, ich wollte noch nicht sterben. Übrigens kann es sein, dass du mich hasst. Nein, danke, ich wollte noch nicht sterben.
Oh, right. This method does seem a bit unsafe.
Da könnte man doch gleich jemanden katapultieren, oder? Aber ich habe bedacht, dass das Geschütz eine gewisse Reichweite hat.
Oh, that's right. Now that you mention it, we could use the Guizhong Ballista to see if there's another way up nearby.
Mit dem Teleskop. So, wo war's? Da unten. Leichter anderer Weg. Ja, ich denke mal, diesmal wird es ein bisschen mehr actionorientiert sein als das letzte Mal. Zum Beispiel jetzt, weil wir da oben noch eine Truhe entdeckt haben. Bevor ich da zu dem Geschütz gehe. Der Tod kommt von oben. Und verfehlt. Ja. So. Und geschafft. Ja, ich habe deswegen so wenig Lebenspunkte, weil mein Heiler ist nur ein 70% Heiler, also Bennett, der ja bis maximal 70% mit seiner Aura heilen kann. Aber stört gerade weniger. Ab 70% Damage macht in seiner Aura nämlich mehr Schaden. Oder jeder, der da drin steht.
Halt! Who trespasses on these hallowed grounds?
Heiliger Boden, das ist doch nur die Wildnis um den Tianheng-Berg.
Exactly. What are you talking about? We're invited guests. What makes you think you can treat us like this? No. Wait. Maybe this was Ningguang's plan all along. She pretended to invite us to the Jade Chamber, but set up a Millilith ambush here to arrest us.
Wir haben das mit der Einladung einfach nur noch nicht erklärt.
Now Paimon's mad. You, over there.
What? We're just on guard duty. What do you mean, shameless?
What nonsense! Seize these suspicious intruders at once!
Well, here they come. Line them up and knock them down.
Jetzt muss er schon wieder gegen die Wachen kämpfen.
Tactical retreat! Who goes there?
Guba, get them.
Take the target alive!
One with my blade.
Nur weil man wieder nicht zuhört, was der andere zu sagen hat.
Spirit blade.
Take this!
Teamwork is dreamwork.
Swift and merciful.
Also das ist jetzt gerade der Heilkreis um uns herum. Also das Feuer.
Animal test 60.
Get arrested! 2 arms!
Ach, und noch mehr.
Take the target alive!
Wie viel denn noch?
Animal test 60.
Das sind selbst die Schatzräuber, aber als schlimmere Gegner.
Take the target alive!
My blade.
Beaten!
Ich wollte euch doch nichts tun.
Stop! What's all this about?
Lady Kuching, these 2 strange people suddenly appeared. They seem to have designs on the Guizhong Ballista.
Who are you calling strange?
Paimon. Wir haben einen Weg ins Jadereich gesucht.
You want to go to the Jade Chamber? Who are you?
We're invited guests here to look for the Liu Qixing. Who are you?
Well, as it happens, I am one of the Liyue Qixing.
Oh,
I'm Kuching, the Yuheng of the Qixing. I know of you, traveler. You're Ningguang's guests, yes? Didn't expect to meet you here in the mountains.
Warum nicht?
wow. Paimon didn't think we'd meet some super rich big shot out here in the middle of nowhere either.
The Guizhong Ballista in Tianheng Pass has long been in disrepair. And yet, it was fixed in a single night. I came here to investigate that occurrence.
Ja, auch das wollen
These
wir.
Millilith are just here to guard the scene, not to arrest anyone.
So this was all a misunderstanding? Paimon never would have thought.
Anyway,
Ich denke, das mache ich
for
gar
a
nicht so schwer.
mortal to be able to repair an Adepti mechanism is quite the mystery, even to the Qixing.
That was...
Wir haben einen kleinen Teil der Arbeit gemacht.
Eh? Oh, right. So, Lady Yuheng, might you have any idea why Lady Tianquan invited us to go to the Jade Chamber?
Just call me Kuching. I'd say that Ningguang's purpose is to request that the savior of Mondstadt take a more neutral stance. Or at least, to not wholly side with the Adepti.
We're not taking sides. We spoke with the Adepti. They want to protect Liu as well.
When you say protect, you're referring to their sanctimonious arrogance, aren't you?
Huh?
You are mortals, and thus under their protection. There was no way they would have regarded you as someone with the ability to assassinate a god. Naturally, they would also regard Ningguang's locking down the area, questioning the citizenry, and pursuit of the assassin to be pointless work. Perhaps they even wonder if there might be a cover-up. I'll say it like it is. They're underestimating us.
Well, you've got a point there. Still, first time Paimon's seen a person from Liyue who doesn't respect the gods
Always
or
respect the
Adepti.
gods.
Should I respect the shallow sense of time and condescension to mortals that has caused them to delay in moving against us, Qixing? Forget it. I shouldn't speak of them this way. This skepticism is mine alone, and Ningguang does not share it. Either way, I will admit that the actions of the Adepti this time were quite restrained. Rex Lapis's death is indeed an extraordinary circumstance. But to think that they would call for a council of Adepti rather than come down here directly. How surprisingly civilized of them. Well, for Ningguang, she would talk anything and everything out if she could. But I doubt we can do that here. The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
Another super bold statement.
I'll stop here. Honestly, I hadn't intended to say so much. But you're a good listener, Traveler.
Der kommt auch
You
nicht
should
zu Wort.
both be off to the Jade Chamber. Don't be late now. Ningguang's schedule is packed to the gills all the way till next year. The cream of Liyue's mercantile crop all see ascending to the Jade Chamber as the greatest honor. Each brings rich gifts as they visit, all to curry a little favor with Ningguang.
Favor?
Paimon, darum geht es nicht.
Wait, that's right. Greeting gifts are a staple of Liyue's culture. We need to get one. Not to curry favor or anything.
Ja,
just
ziemlich
to
zielstrebig.
respect.
Alright. You can decide on your greeting gift yourselves. Let me tell you how to get to the Jade Chamber first. You
Yeah.
didn't actually have to come to Mount Tianheng. Go back to Liyue Harbor. Find a guide at the Yuehai Pavilion, and... well then. May we meet again, Traveler.
Well, that Yuheng may not respect the gods, but Paimon thinks she's a pretty cool person.
Ich teile einige ihre Ansichten.
So, what should we give to Ningguang when we see her?
Du nimmst die Sache mit dem Geschenk ja ganz schön ernst.
Oh, right! Paimon dreamed of an amazing snack last night. Sugar-frosted slime! Paimon has a
Ernsthaft?
feeling that it would be perfect for a super rich person like Ningguang. Why don't we go with that for a gift?
Und wie sollen wir dieses Zeug aus deinem Traum machen?
With a certain boom shakalaka, of course. Let's go
Shangling.
gather ingredients. Time waits for no one, and neither will our riches.
Paimon denkt nur an zwei Sachen. Essen und Geld. Wir hätten erstmal nachschauen sollen, wo wir müssen. Okay, aber ich habe gerade unter uns noch eine Truhe gesehen. Diese wird zuerst geknackt.
A touch of frost. Submit for judgment.
Ja, die Dinger sind nervig. Weil sie sich immer wieder unter die Erde graben. Ja, dann jetzt auch zum ersten Punkt. So, der ist jetzt direkt unter uns. Mal schauen, ob man schon was sieht. Die Vogeleier werden damit nicht gemeint sein. Vermutlich hier Schleim. Ich hasse... Ich mag diese Vögel.
It looks crystal clear and very delicious. That's the one. Everybody stand.
Ja, ich habe jetzt gerade nochmal rüber gewechselt, um Shangling hochzuheilen. So, dieses war der erste Schleim. Barbieren kann man auch noch mitnehmen. Wir müssen, glaube ich, gar nicht hoch. Da drüben ist noch eine Truhe. Ja, ich war noch nicht so oft in dem Gebiet hier. Und da ist noch eine, da ist noch eine. Ja, hier ist gerade viel zu tun.
Huh? Is it just Paimon? Or is there a sweet fragrance in the air? Huh? Did you hear that?
Es hört sich an, als würde jemand um Hilfe
It
rufen.
seemed like it came from those ruins over there. Uh-oh. It looks like the treasure hoarders have locked someone
Schatzräuber.
inside.
So, erstmal so ein bisschen was auf der Karte markieren. So, einmal da drüben sind 2 Truhen und eine Seele. Ich weiß, der ist eigentlich anders. Selie. Und da drüben war auch noch eine irgendwo. Werden wir gleich sehen, denke ich.
There's no end to this.
Und es sind auch hier noch 2 Geoculus markiert.
Nice and spicy.
Ah, da unten ist auch noch was. Hier ist noch sehr viel zu erkunden. Aber das kriegen wir schon hin. Ist auch noch eine Seele. Selie. Ich glaube, da haben wir gleich noch Zeit dazu. Ja, machen wir zuerst die Seele. Dann schaue ich mal, ob ich die Truhe da drüben noch sehe. Vielleicht von oben wahrscheinlich ein bisschen besser. Ja, ihr kommt, klettert hoch. Nee, von hier sehe ich sie gerade nicht. Ein paar Schleime. Ja, die Schleime sind gegen ihr eigenes Element immun, also mit Feuer brauche ich die nicht angreifen. Die ist so hochgeflogen. Und schon haben wir die Truhe. So, dann habe ich ja hier oben noch eine gesehen. Dann diese Fackeln können wir auch noch aktivieren, aber am besten mit Amber. Okay, das sind 2 solche. Erstmal den hier. Verdammt. Kommt runter, wenn ihr traut. Erstmal den hier, weil das der Heiler von den beiden ist. Wieso sieht man gerade keinen Lebensbalken? Okay, der ist down.
only just begun.
Why do they never miss?
Can't run.
Teamwork is
Und ein bisschen Heil wieder.
I miscalculated.
So, da drüben ist eine Truhe. Das Ding werden wir wahrscheinlich durch die Fackeln aktivieren. Dafür brauchen wir jetzt 2 Charakter. Ah, da drüben ist die andere Truhe, die ich gesehen habe. Ihn brauchen wir zum Aktivieren.
Leave
Und
it to
sie
me.
ist am besten für die Fackeln geeignet. Mit dem Bogen. Und da ist nochmal eine Seele.
I won't let you down.
Wo sind die anderen Fackeln? Ah, da ist noch eine. Reicht. Ist hier unten noch eine drin? Nicht, dass wir fällt da. Hey, ich habe den falschen Charakter rausgewechselt.
My demon expelling.
Weil gegen Gestein hilft Großschwert. So, aber wo sind die letzten Fackeln? Das kann man noch mitnehmen. Wahrscheinlich ist nur noch eine Fackel, meiner Einschätzung nach. Die machen wir später. Die müsste dann da oben irgendwo sein. Denke ich. Und das ist auch noch die Geoculus. Hier ist sie nicht. Da kommen wir nicht rauf. Von der Seite sehe ich sie nicht. Oh, erstmal hier. Mist. Brauchen wir den Traveler dafür.
This world is.
Ja, der hat ja die Fähigkeit, da die Dinge zu erschaffen. Ah, da ist sie. Dann nehmen wir direkt Benny. Statt wieder zurück auf Amber zu gehen. Ah ne, wir brauchen ihn jetzt. Okay. Ja. Mal Feuer. Da kommen wir ja nicht rauf. Ja, wie so einfach, wenn es kompliziert auch geht. So, haben wir jetzt das freigeschaltet? Ja. Daneben. So, wo fliegst du hin? Bist du einmal nach unten geflogen, um wieder raufzufliegen? Ah, wir lassen uns Wasser aus dem See. Jetzt können wir da unten auch noch eine Truhe holen. Den Geokulus. Und sie führt uns wahrscheinlich auch noch zu einer Truhe. Au. Okay, dann müssen wir hier noch die anderen Seelen finden. Gut. Dann, Benny, komm her. Da ist eine Herausforderung. Und eine Truhe. Suchen wir mal die Herausforderung.
From whence you came.
Das sind alles jetzt wieder Hydroschleim, das ist Eis am besten. Was greift uns von da oben an? Weiß man nicht. Sie geht jetzt hier senkrecht nach oben. Noch mehr Schleime. Aber wir kommen jetzt, können nicht von hier direkt nach oben. Also wir müssen dann schauen, ob wir da reinkommen. Du bist jetzt wahrscheinlich einfach nur hier reingeklettert, um gleich wieder rauszufliegen, oder? Okay, manchmal bringt es auch was, wenn man die Fackel anzündet. Ja, dachte ich mir doch irgendwie. So, fehlt noch einer. Das war die Herausforderung. So, dann... die sieht man hier danach ein bisschen besser. Aber nachdem einer auf der Seite war... Das ist noch eine Truhe. Gehe ich davon aus, dass der letzte auf der anderen Seite ist. Da habe ich mir diese andere Sache markiert. Aber ich glaube, die Markierung kann ich jetzt wegnehmen. Ja. Wenn du mich direkt angreifst, dann lasse ich dich in Ruhe. Ja. Kann ich einen Charakter gerade wechseln? Nein, weil ich im Kampf bin. Ja, wo bist du denn? Da bist du ja. Also der nervt gerade eher, weil er ein bisschen anstrengender ist als die anderen Standardgegner. Auch weil es sich halt einfach unsichtbar immer mal wieder macht.
From whence you came.
Animal test 6308.
John Jung ist fast tot.
Off we go.
Can't run from death.
Okay, er hat kurz freigeschaltet, also ist nicht ganz so schlimm.
Off we go.
So, für die brauchen wir einen Schützen.
Leave it to me.
Ich glaube zumindest, dass man dafür einen braucht. Verzeihung. Truppe wieder wechseln.
Present.
Bleiben wir trotzdem mal bei Benny. So, Protokoll zur Untersuchung der Ruinen. Am Lingui-Pass ging wirklich alles schief. Dieses Mal hat mich mein Lager nahe einer Statue der 7 aufgestanden. Vielleicht bringt mir das ja Glück. Meiner Untersuchung zufolge haben diese Ruinen mit einem heftigen Krieg zu tun, der von den Adepten vor langer Zeit ausgetragen wurde. In den Zeilen stand etwas wie verborgen hinter Felsen, deckt von Wasser oder so ähnlich. In diesen Ruinen müssen demnach Schätze in Hülle und Fülle sein. Was sonst sollte hinter Felsen verborgen und vom Wasser verdeckt sein? Während meiner Untersuchungen habe ich irgendwie das Gefühl, mich würde jemand beobachten. Nachts höre ich leise Klageschreie. Das wird sicher der Wind sein, der von Nanxiamen her weht. Komm schon, Liu Liu. Jetzt reiß dich zusammen. Schließlich bist du ein Schatzräuber. Du darfst jetzt nicht aufgeben. Ich glaube, diesen Schatz haben wir bereits gefunden.
Off we go.
So. Jetzt sind wir hier genau gegenüber. Das ist die Truhe, vorher hat man von oben gesehen. Na gut.
Don't get frostbite.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
You're not going anywhere.
Animal hypostasis.
Erstmal den Frost.
Flash freeze. Chill to the bone.
Au. Und jetzt nur noch der Elektro.
Fearing flame. Attack.
Everybody stand back.
Force your blade.
I slipped up.
Ich wechsle gerade so ein bisschen näher, um eben halt wieder Leben aufzufüllen.
This isn't good.
So, ganz viele Sachen eingesammelt. Die Kiste öffnen wir jetzt noch. Den Frosch brauchen wir für Alchemie wahrscheinlich. Ich finde es so schön, dass es in dem Spiel doch irgendwie vieles einfach was bringt. Was bist du hier oben? Du bist das letzte von denen, oder? Genau. Die 3 Steinsäulen oder Steinsetzungen haben eine Truhe verborgen. So, hier muss noch irgendwo eine Seele sein. So, geht doch. Das sind nur die hier, die verbergen gerade nichts. Wollen wir sie nicht angreifen? Wie sieht es mit der Ebene höher aus? Auch nichts zu sehen. Ich hätte dich am Leben gelassen, aber du wolltest ja unbedingt. Auch nichts zu sehen. Ah, aber gut zu wissen, da oben ist noch eine Truhe.
I ride on wind and cloud alike.
Vielleicht sehen wir die Seele von hier. Ich sehe hier nichts. Direkt unter uns glaube ich auch nichts.
I ride on wind and cloud alike.
Nee. Okay, ich merke mir diesen Ort. Für später. Irgendwann muss ich hier auch mal alle das abarbeiten, was ich mir hier gesetzt habe. Mengdan, du bist befreit.
Thank you for your help, kind travelers. If you hadn't come to my aid, I surely would have rotted in this cell. Those treasure hoarders, when their mood was good, they'd rearrange those pots of sweet flowers. When they were in a bad mood, they'd rearrange my face.
Aw, it was nothing. No need to thank us all at once or anything.
I understand. Don't worry, I will compensate you both.
Das brauchst du nicht.
Don't say that. I only escaped this predicament because of you. I'm Meng Dan, a supplier for Mingxing jewelry in Liyue Harbor. I often walk around these mountains in search of antiques. I never expected that those treasure hoarders would have their eyes on the same ruins that I had. Before I knew it, they'd caught and imprisoned me.
Also ich habe offline schon einen zweiten von den Schatzräubern gerettet.
Treasure, various knickknacks, you name it. Well, as long as you want what I have to offer, of course.
Mir reicht ein guter Wille,
Wait a
danke.
moment. Actually, we are looking for something.
Oh? And what might that be?
Do you have a box that can store presents? We'd like a pretty one. The kind that you can use to store snacks.
Of course we do. How can one sell antiques without gift boxes? At Mingxing Jewelry, we have the best gift wrapping service in the 7 nations. Now just give me a moment, and I'll let the boss know. You can go see her whenever you require that box.
Gut, wir holen sie gleich.
Paimon sugar frosted slime now comes in a beautiful package.
So, na, kurz nochmal umschauen. Eine Zuckerblume, gut. Nichts zu sehen, dann gehen wir zurück. Und hopp.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Hey there! A guy called Mung Dan told us that we could get a nice and shiny box from your store.
Uncle Mung already told me about it. Thank you both for saving him. Many of the best goods in our store were found by Uncle Mung. If anything were to happen to him, it would be impossible for us to continue doing business. Here, this container is itself an antique, with at least 140 years of history. It's already been cleaned. Will it do?
Yep. It's great. Hang on a moment. Could we borrow one other thing?
Sure.
Paimon.
Please help yourselves, as long as it's on our shelves.
Traveler, this clay pot looks really awesome. If we use an antique as our mixing bowl, we should be able to make a great snack. It's done! The one and only sugar-frosted slime! Carefully now. Into the box it goes and dust it over with a bit
Paimon.
more powdered sugar.
Oh, yes. You might want to use these 2 freshly picked flowers as decorations, too.
Woohoo! It looks beautiful!
Irgendwie fühle ich mich schuldig. Ja, ich auch.
Great! Now that we've put all that we've got into this box, let's go to the Jade Chamber to see Ningguang.
Also dann ab ins Jadegemach, in die Jade Chamber. Wo müssen wir eigentlich hin? Okay, einfach nur darauf. Nehmen wir die Abkürzung und klettern.
According to Kuching, this is what we should say. Excuse me, do you sell the moon here?
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of numbers here.
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber. Yes, speaking of which, are you two the guests that Lady Ningguang has arranged to meet with today?
Yep.
Yep.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests, but for the Yuheng. What's going on here?
Da hat Gandhi uns wohl ein bisschen was verschwiegen.
I've been waiting for you, returnee from Joyun Karst.
It's Ningguang. Since this is our first meeting, we've prepared a gift. I hope you like it.
Oh, for me. You have my thanks. It seems that I have made things difficult for you, considering that you were supposed to be my guests.
Ja.
Oh no, it's nothing.
Ich bin zum ersten Mal hier so weit oben, auch wenn es nicht stimmt, aber das macht sich besser als das erste.
This palace floats in the skies, higher than the peak of any mountain. From this vantage point, one may survey all of Liyue. I have been gathering the funds necessary to build it from the time I began learning the merchant's craft. And since becoming the Tianquan, I have spared no effort in hiring the best craftsmen to constantly extend it. At first, it was but the size of one room. Now, it is large enough to blot out the moon in the skies above Liyue. One day, I believe it will overshadow all 7 nations.
Diesen Tianguan mangelt es nicht an Ehrgeiz.
Not many from outside Liyue earn the right to ascend to the Jade Chamber. But I have been in correspondence with the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, who spoke highly of you. As such, I have been putting eyes and ears out ever since you reached Liyue.
What?
And I finally got wind of your movements when you were on the way to Wangshu Inn.
Wait, was Vergoldet one of your people?
Just Vergoldet? No. Everyone at Wangshu Inn is one of ours.
Wir haben auch die Yuang vor kurzem getroffen.
At the Guizhang Ballista, yes?
Ja.
You weren't peeking on us from the skies the whole time, were you?
I fear that peeking would have been a little difficult from this altitude. Our eyes and ears are more than sufficient. You two are very interesting people, after all. It would be natural to take an interest.
K-Queen sagte, dass sie Xising Rex Lapis nichts Schlechtes wünschen.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to trust us, considering that you have had far more interactions with the Adepti. The reason I invited you here was to clear up some
Die
misunderstandings.
chinesischen Namen auszusprechen fällt mir extrem schwer. Wie man merkt. Schöner Ausblick.
I believe that you've heard of the Archon War.
Also so viel weiß ich darüber nicht.
Many gods used to walk this earth, and many long wars were fought between them that did not abate until 2,000 years ago. Much blood was shed, and many lives were lost.
Oh, das muss dann wieder
In
automatisch
the
starten.
end, only 7 victors remained standing in Teyvat. They built cities and nations on the corpses of the vanquished, and thus began the era of the 7. You can see Goyun Stone Forest from here, I trust. It is no natural rock formation. Those are giant spears of rock hurled by Rex Lapis during the war. Beneath the spears lie those cast down by Rex Lapis in those days, gods that failed to seize the title of Archon. Not only is it true that gods may die, but so too has the membership of the 7 changed over the last 2 millennia. Rex Lapis's passing is an unimaginable disaster for Liyue, but the Order of the 7 will not collapse simply because of that. Another Lord of Geo will arise sooner or later. Yet, how are we to forget Rex Lapis? When that time comes, the relationship between the people of Liyue and the gods and Adepti will surely be different from before. Even in a new era, the Liyue Qixing remain Rex Lapis's former subjects. Do you really think us capable of having played a part in his demise? Of lacking the foresight to see the certain repercussions?
Warum versteckt ihr dann den Leichnam des Stammvaters der Adepten?
That day at Yujing Terrace, it was also very sudden. Even I was caught completely off guard. You were there, you no doubt saw. But our enemy has long lain hidden within the harbor. If we do not act against them now, they will surely gain the upper hand. Hiding the Exuvia was a necessary maneuver to take the initiative back, to play the spider while our foes scurry about.
Who's this enemy you're talking about?
Die Fatui?
What do you think, traveler?
Er vielleicht? Oder er ist es nicht wahr? Ich würde sagen, zweit.
Huh? What are you two talking about?
Ich weiß leider auch
Well
nicht wirklich.
answered.
Huh?
The scenery out here is fine indeed, but the wind is a little strong. Our preparations to receive guests within are complete. So please, this way.
Warum? Ich muss kurz mal was machen. Ist irgendwie komisch. Ja, ich habe gerade das Problem, dass mir angezeigt wird, ich habe keinen Soundausschlag im OBS, aber ich höre es ja anscheinend. Deswegen verstehe ich es gerade nicht so wirklich. Hm. Okay, aber anscheinend hört man was, von daher. Dann brauche ich mich ja nicht drum kümmern. Einfach nur ein Bug in der Software.
Wowee! What a huge hall! Paimon's never seen such a big...
So. Hat schon was. Ein ordentlicher Stapel Schriftrollen. Jedes Blatt Papier ist so dünn wie der Flügel eines Insekts. Vielleicht sind das hier nur Kalligrafiewerke. Ich wollte eigentlich nur das Buch holen. Also zwischen deinem Glauben und ihrem Nichtglauben, dann würde ich Kuching und ihre Skepsis gegenüber allem Göttlichen wählen. Ich kenne beide nicht so wirklich, deswegen ich würde mich jetzt nicht festlegen. Ich nehme an, dass die Fatui etwas mit diesen Gerüchten zu tun haben. Paimon. Paimon. So. Na, da kann man es gut sehen. Oder auch nicht. So, Paimon, wir haben über 1 Million Moore. Brauchst du da wirklich noch was? Nehmen wir das Buch auch noch mit. Paimon. Sie versucht uns offensichtlich dorthin zu führen. Ja. Nein, was ich meine ist... Diesen haben doch immer irgendwas Gutes. Fühlen doch immer was im Schilde. So, sollen wir es machen? Wagen? Die Bediensteten, die ganze Zeit rumgehen, da kommen wir nicht raus. Also müssen wir nach oben. Schauen wir mal so ein bisschen weiter um. Vielleicht finden wir hier noch irgendwas Interessantes. Das da aus kann. Ja komm, wir wagen's. So, was kriegen wir jetzt? Die Spannung steigt. GG. Eid des Scharfschützen. Opfer Großschwert. Eiserner Schatten. Steinschleuder. Schwarze Quaste. Schlagfestes Argument. Rabenbogen. Drachenblutschwert. Noch ein Rabenbogen. Ja, nicht ganz so das, was ich haben wollte. Gut. Eigentlich überhaupt nicht. Zumindest der erste 5-Sterne-Charakter. Aber sie ist halt jetzt... Ich glaube, sie ist so ein bisschen Heiler, aber einen Heiler brauche ich jetzt eigentlich nicht wirklich. Ja. Und sie ist ein Zombie. Also ich mag diese Kind-Charaktere nicht wirklich in... Gerade in dem Spiel sind sie halt alle so super naiv. Ja, das wollte ich gerade nur schauen. Was ist das? Ja, okay, sie ist halt zum Farm in Liu ganz gut. Schade. Und das Schwert weiß ich jetzt auch nicht, ob man das brauchen kann. Hätten wir es porten können, sollen. Wäre vielleicht besser gewesen. So, dann teleportieren wir uns hier. Kamera ist gerade ein bisschen unscharf, oder? Okay, passt wieder. So.
Exorcism uses thaumaturgy and martial arts to conquer evil. There are other means to the same end.
Einmal um den Berg rumfliegen. Ach, wenn wir sie schon haben, machen wir gleich was mit ihr. Und zwar kriegt sie natürlich die Flügel der Kameradschaft. Die Patrouille sind immer wütend auf einen. Das war gar, glaube ich, keine so gute Idee. Kommt jetzt doch auch noch. Nehmen wir erstmal den Fernkämpfer. Der andere wird schon noch herkommen. So, dann haben wir die auch gleich. Und erledigt. Sagt erledigt. Irgendwo hier oben. Da ist noch einer. Und noch einer. So, einer weniger. Jetzt nur noch den von oben wieder einsammeln. Das ist ja jetzt halt wieder einer der Kyro? Nein, das ist ein Hydro. Dann doch lieber ihn. Das können wir trotzdem so machen. Gut, dass er sich gerade die ganze Zeit selbst nass macht, dann kann man ihn gut einfrieren immer. Und na komm. Geht jetzt nicht mehr aus. So, wo sind jetzt die Dokumente? Hier.
There are so many talismans here. And some stacks of blank paper too. What are they for?
Vielleicht versuchen sie ein Talisman zu
I
vervielfältigen.
haven't seen this pattern before.
Nur wo?
Where? Oh, Paimon knows. It looks just like the sigil of permission the child gave you. But how did a relic of the Adepti end up in the hands of someone like Child? Suspicious.
Es ist nicht nur eine Reliquie.
Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Geo created the sigil of permission, it wasn't to be used as some old relic. Talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the sigil of permission in hopes of achieving a similar effect. Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew. That sounds pretty dangerous.
Offenbar führen die Fatui definitiv etwas im Schilde. Vielleicht ist dieses Papier nur ein Auszug aus einem viel größeren Plan. Ich nehme den größeren Plan.
Plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure.
Ja.
Alright, that's enough sticking around here. We gotta go meet up with Zhongli soon. The last stop on our rite of parting preparations tour is Dihua Marsh. Let's go! Paimon hates being late.
Dann auf. So, wo ist das Moor? Da oben. Dann am besten hierhin teleportieren. Mach's noch zum Leben, ja, aber ich brauche den nicht mehr. Ich hab dich hier oben schon mal besiegt. Deswegen hoffe ich, ich kann dich ignorieren. Ja, wir sind aus dem Kampf draußen.
Right on time. I myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Ja, es war schon interessant dort.
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a fancy schmancy place before.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very
Jeder, der Geschäfte macht, kann freundlich sein.
Yeah, his
Schon
take
wieder.
on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. He thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh. So you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart. Though they are both members of the Qixing. Although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true
Stimmt, sie ist auch
intentions.
aus der Fokus. Jetzt sollte ich den Fokus doch einfach fest einstellen. Mal kann man das gerade direkt machen. Ich meine, wir haben bald eigentlich die Einstellungen fest. Ups, das wollte ich nicht. Ja, ich glaube, so passt es. Ja dann. Ningguang ist, ich weiß, es ist schon wieder falsch ausgesprochen. Ich kann es mir nicht merken. Ist sehr schlau oder hat ihre eigenen Ziele. Sie hat ihre eigenen Ziele.
Yes. She has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve that. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's the most important thing to her then?
Why, Mora, of course.
Ja, ich glaube, das kann man so lassen. Ich bin nicht überrascht.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue, and that they aren't to be trusted.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least.
Und jetzt versuchen sie den Passierschein zu kopieren.
No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui.
Immer.
Always be on your guard.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting in Diwa Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? Well, why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in Eugene Terrace have some? Even Qingsa Village has glaze lilies. Oh,
Aber es müssen ganz besondere
Paimon
sein.
remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to flowers. Maybe we could ask her.
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. They won't do it all. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower that listens to human song. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded, turning it into the marsh you see now. Nearly all the glazed lilies were wiped out. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But very few people know that glazed lilies may still be found in the wild. Wild glazed lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind up the wild lilies and place the powder in a censer of everlasting incense. But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers.
Du brauchst jetzt nicht zum Pflücken.
I need you to sing to them.
Sing.
Singing to the flowers will make them more fragrant.
So how good is your singing?
Ich kann ein bisschen singen.
Why doesn't Paimon believe you?
We'll only know once he starts singing.
Die Zuckerblume nehmen wir mit.
It's time to sing. Whenever you're ready.
Zeig kurz.
Da 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 da.
Okay, das ist mal ein Gesang.
These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang a song for Mondstadt that they don't understand here, Leo? Everybody stand back.
Die sind ein bisschen nervig. Ich finde viele Gegner nervig, wie ihr mitkriegt. Aber das ist ja auch herausfordernd dadurch. Er braucht nur nicht die Eissachen einzusetzen. Das bringt bei denen wenig. Erstmal das eine ausschalten. Ups. Das genau wollte ich nicht. Also eine ist schon schlimm. Na komm. Das war's schon.
Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
Unerwartete Feinde.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent medicinal value. Let's collect what we can of these petals.
Well, that's nice and all, but will those petals be useful for the rite of parting?
Unfortunately, no.
It's so lame.
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey! It's... What's-her-face?
Hallo Ganyu.
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name.
Warum nicht?
Ah, that reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Du hättest mir ruhig das Passwort sagen können.
If you told us how to get up there.
Didn't I tell you the way? Surely I did.
Nope, we found the way on our own.
Wir wären nicht den weiten Umweg gegangen, wenn wir dich gefragt hätten.
I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Something seems a little off about Ganyu. She's acting different from the first time we met. Where's her serious attitude now?
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But now, I am simply out on a stroll to see the flowers.
You came all the way out here to see the flowers? Why not just enjoy the gardens of the city?
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. But 5 of those original 7 had already passed before Rex Lapis. It's truly a changing of the guard. Yes.
Also?
Now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. He is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
So what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden.
Yeah?
As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the gods and Adepti has now reached its end.
Huh? Did you just say, as an Adeptus?
Yes, I am a mix of human and Chilean.
Kreuzung.
Adeptus blood flows through my
Übersetzt das so.
veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. I've continued those duties to this very day.
Es ist kein Wunder, dass du immer vergisst, uns Sachen zu berichten.
Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies? I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found. See, I've just picked one myself. Here, you may have it if you wish.
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before you picked the lily?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well. In fact, I sang a local Liyue ballad to it.
Wow,
Nicht so wie
so you
wir.
really know your stuff too. Thanks, Ganyu.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, I never thought that I would be able to contribute to the upcoming farewell for our ancient lord. If you would excuse me, I should return to my work now. Good luck.
And that just about does it. Our preparations for the rite of parting are mostly finished. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks, in more ways than one.
Zhongli ist der richtige Mann für die landwirtschaftliche Entwicklung.
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business in Liyue.
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort. And once business is at full steam, the stress of it all only wears away at you over time. So you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself. If left unchecked, the wear and tear on your heart may go well past mending.
Wow. See? Zhongli sounds like he's already seen it all. Alright, I think it's about time we head back to Liyue Harbor now.
Ja, teleportieren wir uns. Das ist schneller. Wenn wir den hier außerhalb von gehen, wir von außen quasi rein. Es wirkt ein bisschen besser, als wenn wir uns rein teleportieren. Felix Faustus.
This atmosphere is highly abnormal. It seems as though something big has happened. We should ask around a little, just to be safe.
Felix?
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rashly.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the Adepti outside the city. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable, given the current situation.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo-Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position to stop them.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so easily.
Vermutlich nicht.
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and Adepti are now on the verge of conflict.
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't let anyone catch you off guard.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Wir können nicht einfach tatenlos
Do
zusehen.
you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Or will you use your sword to turn the balance? Neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities at the gates.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. I hope that Master Hu has been able to keep things under control for the moment. Consider your next course of action carefully, Traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion, it may be wisest to look for the fuse first.
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite the double-edged sword. So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse?
The child.
Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, it's definitely him. He must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do something really bad. But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this?
Es gibt nur einen Ort, an den er hingehen könnte. So. Ja. Da können wir uns ja hier teleportieren, ersparen wir uns ein bisschen Weg. Ja, minimal zumindest. Nehmen wir die Abkürzung und klettern drauf. Ja, hier ist eigentlich auch ganz schön. Könnte ich mir auch vorstellen zu wohnen. Die Goldstube. Auf der Suche nach der Wahrheit erreichst du das Zentrum des Wirbelwinds. Inmitten des Goldes erwartet dich. Diese nehmen wir und mit dieser greifen wir an.
Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? And so full of Mora.
Paimon, beherrsch dich.
That's Mora's minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing.
Wenn du eine einzelne Moore anfasst, sind wir erledigt.
Oh, so it's a trap. Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here.
Ja,
But
Paimon.
even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right? Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true.
Irgendetwas scheint nicht in Ordnung zu sein.
Right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as important as the Exuvia. Huh? Look! What happened here?
Sie wirken alle bewusstlos.
Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
Das wirkt hier sehr nach einer Arena. Interessante Aufbewahrung.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen enough trouble for today?
Huh? Who's there?
The child.
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way.
Sieht so aus, als wäre ich gerade zur rechten Zeit hier.
Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires.
Ich werde dich nicht in die Nähe des Leichnams
I'm
lassen.
not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could say that.
Aber auch
When
nicht.
Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions.
Du nicht.
But as for me, The greatest pleasure of being a harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me?
Yes.
Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there?
Ich kann dich niemals besiegen. Ich fürchte, du irrst dich.
Fighting talk, I love it. Now let's see you live up to it. This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. You're wide open.
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
How unbecoming.
Also er ist ein Hydro-Kämpfer, deswegen bin ich hauptsächlich auch mit Chongyun unterwegs.
Good. No wonder Senora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out.
Okay, jetzt hat er das auf Elektro umgeswitcht.
Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
Daneben.
Gotcha. One, all you do is run.
Get them!
Spirit Flame! Attack! You've got some skills.
Hättest du nicht da drin bleiben können?
No use hiding back there. One with my blade.
So.
Not bad.
Ich hab dich doch besiegt. Ich hasse diese geskripteten Bosskämpfe.
But that's about as far as you'll get.
Beide Elemente vermischt.
Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now.
Das ist schon weg.
I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Jetzt aktiviert er auch zwei verschiedene. Sieht eigentlich ganz cool aus. Ab in die nächste Arena. Da hätten wir aber auch oben bleiben können. Ich gebe mal Shangling was zu essen. Iss mal die Pizza.
got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Gold Mountain Empire? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over now. Don't make me take it from you.
Oh.
We didn't take it!
Oh.
A touch of frost.
Bleib doch mal stehen.
Why do they never miss? Teamwork is dreamwork!
Oh.
Submit for judgment.
Oh.
You're cut above.
Jetzt aber.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you! We didn't take it!
Your
Aber
show
wer
of
dann?
ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be?
Es liegt da, dass wir die Kräfte der 7 sammeln oder dass wir das ursprüngliche Kraft wiederherstellen. Ich drück
You
Letzteres.
already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if
Es macht
that is
keinen
a secret
Unterschied.
you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Warum nicht?
Unfortunately,
Hallo Ellen, schön, dass
I
du da
must bring
bist.
this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
Das habe ich ja von Anfang an gesagt.
So you mean that...
Rex Lapis lebt
Yes,
noch.
it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely detest working with those who are weaker than I. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who think otherwise. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
Esst schön euer
I
Gemüse,
will
sonst
awaken the
kommt der
god that lies
Graf.
dormant beneath Guyan's stone forest.
A god?
Ja.
Osile, overlord of the Vortex.
Okay, ein
Who
anderer.
was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geo-Archon's stone spears ever since.
Okay, das ist ein
If
anderer.
such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing
Ich
destruction?
glaube weiter, dass Zhongli der Gott
The
ist.
Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Nicht nur, dass du wolltest sie auch kopieren. Ich habe deine Erforschung mit eigenen Augen gesehen.
The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing.
Mich wundert es halt, dass wir ihn immer noch spielen könnten. Also er ist ja ein spielbarer Charakter. Das ist der Gott der Wirbel.
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Wir müssen hier raus.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
Die Jadekammer. Von was denn?
If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go.
Warum nicht?
Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex
schaut gerade auf
still
dich
in the sea? It
herunter.
hasn't destroyed Liyue yet, has it?
Paimon.
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy.
Schmetterlinge. Oh Gott, diese Übersetzung.
It's not just you. We've got new Millelith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millelith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is... not necessarily.
What? Wait, all of you are supposed to be the guardians of Liyue. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Yep.
sie kann einfach so jetzt die Ballisten beschwören. Es sind 3 Stück, aber es sind 4 Adepten. Schau hat noch nicht reagiert.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Genshin Ballista!
Die Spannung steigt.
The 3 Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me! Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? What wishes to witness?
Müssen wir jetzt 6 Minuten lang durchkämpfen und die Ballisten beschützen, wie es aussieht. Ja, schneller. Zum Glück regnet's. Das ist für uns natürlich vorteilhaft. Na komm. Ach, die andere Seite jetzt. Gut, dass das Schild noch nach vorne geht. Ich bin der Gegner, nicht die Ballista. So, von wo kommt der nächste? Au. Daneben. Da sind sie.
How dare them. Snatch knives and diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Bleibst du da? Ach, erstmal den ausschalten. Ich bräuchte mal ein bisschen Hilfe. Ja, verzagt. Ich muss ein bisschen alles hinsetzen.
Take this.
This is gentle energy. That light from your body. It's like the time in Julian Cars.
Erstmal den Heiler.
Wow, it's Madame Ping's shockwave. This green is really strong.
So, noch 4 Minuten. Bleibt ihr da? Au. Ich muss gerade selbst ein bisschen hochheilen. So, wo sind die? Da drüben sind wieder welche. Zumindest einer.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
Jetzt sind wir schon schnell. Naja, ich fühle mich immer noch zu langsam. Dürfen wir jetzt gleich gegen den Gott selbst antreten? Es sind jetzt gerade ja keine zu sehen. Wir müssen jetzt gerade einfach nur ausweichen.
Child, you are strong.
strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
Ja, hoffe ich doch.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Du bleibst weg. Gott, ich hasse diese... Zum Glück verschwinden die, sobald... Also die fliegen, wollte ich jetzt schon sagen. Und da drüben sind die nächsten. Hast du eine Ahnung? Es kommt sicher noch schlimmer, als man denkt. So, wo ist denn das nächste? Da drüben wieder. So. Der Eisheini. Zum Glück regeneriert die Kräfte schnell, hier sehr schnell.
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
So, war's das jetzt? Das eine ist schon ziemlich zerstört.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Nein. Ich hoffe, ihr könnt alle fliegen.
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
Ja, einfach mal auf den Gott fallen lassen.
Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Ist das vorbei?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's
Also die Kameraperspektive ist interessant.
And as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Wir sind hier alle auf derselben
Yet
Seite.
another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Wenn es Uneinigkeit zwischen den Beschützern und denen gibt, die sie beschützen sollen, dann wird es sehr schwierig, die Harmonie wiederherzustellen.
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Das haben wir in der Stadt der Freiheit gelernt.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Das waren, glaube ich, die richtigen Worte.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Sie versuchen, die Herzen der Menschen zu ergründen.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means.
Die haben so interessante
The
Namen.
city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Until we met again.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided.
Die Adepten waren vernünftig, oder das sagst du es? Waren vernünftig. Oh, Verzeihung.
We've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death, too? Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Genau, besuchen wir Zhongli. Wie gesagt, ich bin immer noch der Meinung, er ist der Archon.
Off we go.
Also, so wie er so fällt, so vieles weiß, aber gleichzeitig keine Ahnung von Geld hat. Und dazu fügt er noch über die Geokräfte. Das sind halt so viele Sachen, die mich dazu bringen, dass er es ist. Aber das ist nur meine Vermutung.
Off we go. Off we go.
Fährfrau.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng funeral parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
Aber es war nicht alles okay.
Off we go.
Ich würde mich in der Stadt so verlaufen, wenn ich das leben würde, wahrscheinlich am Anfang. Nun, Graf, bist du hier?
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And...
Signora.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
Ich hab noch Zeit, es zurückzuholen.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle.
Eigentlich nicht.
So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Signora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on.
Beide?
So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
Vereinbar. Ja, ich hab's euch gesagt. Ich hab's gesagt.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
Ich hab's euch gesagt.
Sanctimonious.
Ich hab sowas ja schon vermutet, also ja.
So you're the Lord of Geo? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Ich fürchte, ich verstehe nicht.
I don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing. Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come, until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue.
Lass mich raten, für den Fall, dass alles in Flammen aufgegangen wäre, hättest du noch in einer anderen Plan in der Hinterhand?
That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even tried to understand the heart of the people. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Child, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, Traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all!
Ha! On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me?
Nein.
You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight?
Beide gleichermaßen reingelegt oder diesmal wirklich selbst schwer gemacht? versöhnen wir uns mal mit ihm.
Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Ah, fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Ich möchte wissen, was der Kira Archon dir angeboten hat.
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
So, was ist jetzt mit der Story? Überbelichtung. Das war viel zu schnell.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Ich dachte, wäre gerade die Treppe gewesen.
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really... But they didn't catch the culprit, did they?
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Child.
The Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
So, was habt ihr
You
zu
know
sagen?
that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes,
Ja, aber es war der
very
Gott
possible
selbst.
indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a person in all my years.
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of Civil Affairs has to say first.
Ja, lasst uns das anhören.
Adventure time!
Hear ye all, the Qixing's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said.
Sie sagen, dass Rex Lapis durch einen göttlichen Prozess starb.
So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that neither they nor the Adepti knew anything. Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his Gnosis changed hands?
Ich glaube, damit hast du dieses Mal echt den Schwarze getroffen.
Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look. Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa.
Paimon.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Damit hat sicherlich keiner gerechnet. Nun.
And to think I'd put my best perfume on before coming here, thinking you'd like it. But it seems as if those perfumes really were meant to be offered to Rex Lapis. Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals in love, they say. And that's 3 gone in 1 stroke.
Also, Madame Ping hat ja gewusst, dass Zhongli ist. Also da war schon irgendwas. Ups, falscher Knopf.
As for the mortals and Adepti of Liyue, what shape shall our relationship take from now on?
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we could have made.
Sonst ist jetzt hier auch keine wirklich interessante.
That future generations will say so too when our deeds come up for their review.
The cleanup of the premises, managing the crowds as they exit, making an account of the rite. There's much that remains to be done. I didn't miss anything, did I?
Sie alle schauen mich an. Das ist so unangenehm.
Why you? Were you just trying to look cool earlier, or are you really that selfless?
Yep.
If you were looking for someone, you could have just told me that in private.
Sonst kann man auch, glaube ich, mit niemandem mehr reden, oder? Nee. Doch, der hier noch.
Ah, Rex Lapis. Oh, Rex Lapis. Now that I think about it, if everyone's of the same mind as me, perhaps mementos for Rex Lapis might be the best short-term business opportunity.
Ups. Das habe ich nicht gesehen. Zhongli? Wie fühlst du dich?
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Shinya kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Shinya kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do like the Mora.
Aber warum sollte es Morax am Mora
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that.
Das stimmt.
In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you.
Es war eine großartige
Reise.
Reise.
That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed.
Inazuma?
The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
Ja, Elektro und Raiden, also wie in Mortal Kombat.
That is the case.
Raiden,
and since
my
Raiden
master.
is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
Inazuma's Bakufu?
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's hard.
The Anemo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the 7, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven.
Himmel?
All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Was diesen Prozess angeht.
Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know?
Was ist mit Child?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Child.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Child did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti and the Qixing from defeating the ancient god. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not
Da haben sie es nicht übersetzt. Das ist
I'm certain that they would have shifted all the blame to him and called for his dismissal by now. All right then. Was there anything else you wished to know? The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Kuching is absolutely right in saying this. Now, though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Qixing's plan to take governing power over Liyue from the hands of the gods and Adepti, could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you wished
Was
to know?
Mora angeht.
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Teyvat? Since Morax is dead, are they all just gonna disappear?
Das war lustig.
Isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo Archon's power.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora! The world is coming to an end!
Yes, This is indeed a major issue from a financial standpoint.
Ja, man kann sich immer noch aufs anderes einigen.
Well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters to the Liyue Qixing to debate.
Ich meine, das hatten wir auch schon öfters gehabt.
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common-sense idea.
Die du nicht hattest.
It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wished? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.
So, Akt 3 abgeschlossen. Und das nächste Mal, wenn ein größerer DLC kommt. Ja. Und damit, ich gehe erstmal in den anderen Bildschirm wieder rüber. Ja, damit möchte ich es für heute beenden. Wir haben jetzt die Story-Missionen, soweit sie verfügbar sind, abgeschlossen. Ja, ich bedanke mich fürs Reinschauen und dann sehen wir uns morgen vielleicht wieder. Ich weiß noch nicht so genau. Auf jeden Fall macht es gut und bleibt gesund.